Hey, welcome to my journey. It's way in. Just how did I do after a vacation weekend? That was the question on my mind as well. Wasn't sure how I was going to do, but I knew it couldn't be bad because I didn't go off the rails. Hold on a minute. Big truck. Okay, I didn't go off the rails. Well, let me tell you what I did. Stayed the same, exactly the same to the ounce, 247.6. That always amazes me every time that happens. And it's not just me, other people's weigh-in, they're the same. I don't know how that works. But I thought maybe I would have a loss because I didn't go off the rails. We didn't even eat lunch Friday or Saturday. And then what we did eat, I didn't eat much. For breakfast, I didn't eat much. And then, no lunch. I think I had a snack of one. They had a driver's appreciation. I gave them a goodie bag at work before we left. He got it Thursday night, actually. Wednesday night, I think it was. And you know those little bitty chocolate candy bars like that? I had a Milky Way, because we put it in our little snack bag. I had a Milky Way and a Snickers. Those little bitty things. That was lunch. And then supper, we ate out with Tracy and Chris. And I had fish and chips. Couldn't eat it all, obviously. And then breakfast, Saturday morning, we went to the Daniel Boone Inn. And it's all you can eat, but I could hardly eat anything because you know I fill up so fast. Then we didn't eat lunch, and then for supper we went back to Daniel Boone Inn because Tracy and Chris wanted to go, and that was supper food. And it's all you can eat except for the ham biscuits. And I guess they found out people would order more and take it home, and they were losing money, I imagine, because you know they don't mind if you wrap up your biscuits and whatever you have left to take home. You just can't order more and get to-go boxes. There's none of that. But while I ate more than my pouch should have held, I still ate so much less than a typical person would eat. I had like a little piece of country style steak, which it was like a little hamburger patty with gravy on it. Country style steak to me is cube steak. It was like that big with about that much taters. And then I had a biscuit with fried apples on it. And that's all I had. So, and 2 bites of chocolate cake, which was so rich but so good, but I was so full. So I didn't overeat. This is what I think. We all know stress makes you gain weight, and I think the stress and the emotional upheaval of losing Flair, I think that made me hold on to the weight. I really do, because I know my eating was not out of line. Well, I'm sure we didn't even eat out when we got home. Well, we did have pizza. RJ came over and buried her for me, and she's right there. So she's right here with me while I'm on the porch. And we let them pick what they wanted. They hadn't had pizza in a while, so they wanted pizza. But I only had one piece. No wings or nothing, just one piece of pizza. So I don't consider that I overdid it. I think it was the whole thing of losing Flair. But even if I did overeat and I stayed the same after a vacation weekend, I'm cool with that. I really am. Look, here's my Land of Oz, North Carolina mug. My coffee's hot. I can't hardly drink it. We had a good time. We really did. I enjoyed it. I was dragging tail. By the time we got through, I'm here to tell you what. that man of mine, bless his heart, drug, push, pull, whatever he had to do to get me around that part. But I made it. I was so proud of myself, and I was so tired. Come to find out, we missed the whole ending skit show, song and dance of everybody together in the Emerald City. There were no signs. No one told us when we left Oz. When we went through the gates, he said, "You made it." Okay. Well, we made it. That's it. There were no signs, nothing. You go down to where it said the Emerald City, but it was a gift shop. And then you look down, and it was where people were eating. So we didn't see that part. I guess I'll have to go back and see the whole thing. Next time I go back, I will have 2 new knees and a new back. And I will be unstoppable. Now, segue. Speaking about new knees, let me just tell you. Let me see if I can drink some of this coffee. Went to my surgery pre-op with it wasn't my surgeon, it was my surgeon's PA. So I had that yesterday. Let me tell you, I should not tell this, but y'all know I just tell y'all stuff. So, the office I'm going to this is a new office. This is not the office that I see my surgeon in. This is a different office, okay? So, I go in, it's on the 2nd floor. I go up the elevator. I hit 2. It gets there. It makes that ding, and the door don't open. So I stand there, I'm like, okay. So I hit 2 again, thinking, well, is it just hung up? It goes kind of like, ding, the door don't open. And I'm standing there this close to pressing the call for help button. I did it probably 1 or 2 more times. Then I said, well, I'm gonna hit 1 and I'm gonna see if it'll reset something. Like an idiot. I don't know. I guess I was just wanting to get stuck on the elevator, right? So I go down to 1. The door opens fine. I'm like, okay, let's go on back up to 2. So I went on back up to 2. It made the same noises, the whole up and down and back and this and I was like turned to the side for some reason. I don't know why. And I caught out the glimpse of my I caught out the glimpse of my eye. The door was opening behind me. So for like a good 4 times, I mean no joke, I was standing there facing this way with the door opening to my back. And when I realized, I thought, oh my gosh, if I turn around and there are people sitting in that office staring at me, I'm going to die on the spot. Thankfully, you face the little office area where the receptionist is sitting, and there's a window, but it's high enough to where she can't see over it, and you have to go around the corner, and there she sits, and there's the waiting room, and there's the waiting room. I went in, I was just laughing. She probably thought I lost my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, you cannot be that stupid. Well, apparently, I am. So, that's how I started my visit. Well, we go in, and I sit down, and she goes, oh, wait, we got to get your weight. I'm thinking, oh my God. Because the woman told me on the phone, she goes, yeah, she goes, when you come back, we got to get a weight check. And I'm thinking, if I'm not under 250, I'm going to cry. Even though he said he'd fight for me, still, I want to be under 250. And you know, I already had not known what was going to happen for my weekend, you know. I got on it, and their scale, I was 249.6. I don't care. I'll take it. So that's how far off. Yeah, 0.6. Yeah, their scales are 2 pounds different from mine. And the hospital and the doctors all use the same scale. But I mean, they didn't say nothing about my weight. She did say, she goes, how tall are you? I'm like, well, they put me down as 5'6", but the woman told me the last time she measured me 5'6" and a half. I told her, I said, well, actually 5'6" and a half. She said, I'm putting you down at 5'7", then I'm rounding you up. I'm like, okay, thank you. So that gives me a few extra pounds leeway in case they wanted to get, kind of snarky about it or anything. But they took x-rays, so they got x-rays of my knees. They just want to make sure, like he said, make sure, no surprises. Well, he comes in, he introduces himself, and he sits down. She had the x-rays pulled up on the screen, so he sits down, he looks. First thing he says to me, he just turns around, he goes, because I'm getting the right knee done, right? He turns around, he goes, so we're doing the left knee too, right? I'm like, yeah. I said, as a matter of fact, when I come in for my follow-up, I am going to tell them to put me on the schedule. He said, oh yeah. So, my knees are bad. They're not just bad, they're bad. Excuse me for slurping. So, he showed them to me, and oh my gosh, they're a sight in this world. And he told me the same thing Dr. Ward told me. He said, it's going to hurt. He said, it's going to be pain. He said, but what you're dealing with now, he said, you'll probably think, piece of cake. I'm like, we were discussing, the one thing about it is that pain will end. The pain I'm in now will not end. It'll never stop, but the pain of the surgery, I will get over it. So we talked, and he answered a bunch of my questions that I had. I had took my little notebook with my questions in it. He answered a number of them before I had to ask him, but I was curious. They're titanium, because I was curious about that. I'm like, okay, how do you attach these things? Because I don't know, and I have envisions of you have to drill into the bone and attach something. He goes, cement. They cement the metal to your bones. He said they go in. He showed me all the mess they'd have to clean up, and they straighten up, and all this and that. He said, and then they glue cement the bone to it, and then in the middle, what it flexes on is plastic. That's what the metal will bend on. He said, we'll take x-rays while you're in the recovery room. He said, because when you come back for your first follow-up, we want you to see what we did, because it'll make more sense when you see it. When you see what your knees look like now, and then when you see what we did to them, it'll make sense. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to have it done. He said, now did he tell you if you'd stay overnight? I said, yeah, he told me he was going to keep me overnight. He said, well, honestly, he said, if you feel good, he said, just go on home. He said, you get a better night's sleep in your bed than you will at a hospital. I said, you got that right, because when I had this bypass, oh my gosh, well, I'll say this, that hospital bed slept better than that bed up there in the mountains. No, that's scary, because that hospital bed was terrible. But he did, he said, just if you feel like it, if you can walk, if your vitals are good, if we think you're okay, you can go home. He said, you don't have to stay. That's good to know. Let's see, what else? Oh, minimum out driving, since it's my right leg, like 3 weeks. Could be 5 to 6 weeks. He said, we want to make sure your muscles are strong enough, because he said that back and forth, from this pedal to that pedal, gas to the brake, you know how you drive. He said, and God forbid you'd have to slam on brakes. He said, we want to make sure your muscles are strong enough. And then PT will be out 2 to 3 weeks in home. And then after that, once or twice a week for a couple months, he said. Outpatient PT for that long? Who knew? So he said they'll tell you when they think you're getting strong enough, when you're good, and when you can, walk and all this and that. So listen, I'm excited. Let me think. Did he say something else? don't know, he probably did, but I can't think of nothing. So, y'all, it's a week from Monday. Yes, oh, I'm excited. I was just kind of thinking, little flare, because tending to her was going to be a little extra, you know, getting around to do my things with her. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like she knew. She went when I wasn't home because, like a couple of you have said, she loved me enough to know that I might not have could have handled finding her. And I tried over the past couple of years, because she's just not been well, because she would have been 13 years old in January, and that's a long time for a bearded dragon. So I often ran over in my mind and played, okay, what are you going to do when you find her? How are you going to react? What are you going to do? And I couldn't put my finger on it, because it's not something you know until you experience it. And so I think she did know that it was going to be too hard for me to do it, to find her. And I think maybe she knew it was going to be too hard for me to tend to her while I'm recuperating. So I didn't mean to come on here and bring y'all down, but I mean, it's still fresh, you know. Life goes on. I know that. But you get kind of weepy about things. And then today is Noel's birthday. She would have been 34. Noel, if you're new, is my niece who died 3 years ago, very, very unexpectedly. And it took me probably a year of grieving before I could not cry. I cried probably every day for a year. No exaggeration. So I can still get weepy about that. But you know, one of my Facebook memories today was when I got her tattoo. I got her tattoo that year, and my tattoo artist, he said he would do it on her birthday. And so it's this one right, if you can see that one. She played Animal Crossing, as did my kids, and they played together. And it's a little game where you just build houses, and you farm, and you just do all kinds of stuff like that. It's a cute little game. And Holly had screenshots of her house and her character, and I was trying to think, okay, hold on a minute, it's a loud truck. I was trying to think what, I knew I wanted to get a tattoo in her memory, but I didn't want the typical in love and memory of Noel. I didn't want that. I wanted something that represented her. And I was thinking, I can't remember what I thought of first. And RJ was like, well, what about Animal Crossing? She loved Animal Crossing. I'm like, you know what? That's a great idea. And Holly's like, I got screenshots. So she had screenshots of her house and her character. So I took those to Matt, and he came up with this. This is like a, like her little character's a little, he put his own little spin on it. But it's the hair color and the outfit, and it's her house. I mean, it's her house. Exactly. And I love it. I think she would approve. I really do. So that's what today is. I'm just gonna remember the good times. I'm just gonna remember the good times. So I'm gonna see if Holly wants to go to Super G today, which is the international market over there in Charlotte, which is not far from where she lives. So you get to her house, you're halfway there. But I need some cow peas, and I'm gonna have to go now before I can't go, and that's the only place I can find cow peas. I can order them on Amazon, but you have to order a case of 24. I don't need 24 pounds of cowpeas. You know how long we eat a half a bag at a time. You know how long it'd take us to eat 48 batches of cowpeas? Oh my gosh. Too many. too long. So that's the one thing I need from over there. I don't know of anything else I need. There's always stuff you see. And I know I'll get a boba tea, because you have to get a boba tea, or else you can't say you've been. And we might eat, I don't know. They got a little restaurant in there, and they got a little bakery in there. They got all kind of little things, so I might get something there too. I don't know. But I'm hoping she wants to go, because, I mean, I'll go by myself, but I'm hoping she wants to go. Well, you know what? There's my husband. That is a good time to stop, because I think I kind of said everything I want to say. So I have a video coming up for y'all tomorrow, and then I'm guessing we'll do live at 1. So I'll see you then.